Today we're going to be talking about a skill to use with clients that are incredibly negative, have incredible degree of pain, and in many ways they can get in their own way. These are the clients that show up. They want to talk about what's wrong. Sometimes they monopolize session, and at the end you feel drained as the therapist, or you feel like you weren't able to help them. This skill is for those clients. Now, many people who are going to be watching this video are familiar with the use of exceptions, and at the same time there are going to be lots of people that are going to watch this that aren't really aware of using exceptions at all in therapeutic work. So I just want to quickly explain what that is. The concept of exceptions means that no matter what the person is saying is going on, whether they're depressed or they're anxious or they're upset, that within the client's life and experience, there are periods of time, there are exceptions where the problem isn't that bad or is gone entirely, but those exceptions are usually outside of the client's awareness. The client is usually in a lot of pain and focused on what's wrong. And usually as the therapist, it takes a lot of attention and discipline to avoid getting sucked into the client's problem immediately. But the issue with evaluating and analyzing the problem is in a lot of ways you may not get to a lot of the natural coping skills or even the stopping pattern of the symptom or the behavior. It can be kind of tricky. So exceptions are a great way to use what the client has going for themselves already and give them both confidence and a useful building block from a therapeutic standpoint. So more to come on exceptions. But today this is for somebody who's in an incredible amount of pain. So I'm just going to use an example of a client, an imaginary client that has chronic pain. Okay, so every day they have pain. Maybe they take painkillers or whatever it is, and they're depressed. And every time they come in, you ask them, well, how's everything going? And the client says, oh, it's terrible. It's worse than last time. They say it's bad. They say it's even worse. They've deteriorated. The first question, I guess, then I ask the client is, in the last 7 days, again, being very time sensitive, in the last 7 days, which day was worse? Get the client to really think about which day was worse. This hyperextends the problem. We want the client to think about in intensity the day that was worst. Well, it was Thursday. Thursday was terrible. I couldn't sleep. I was in a lot of pain. I had an argument with my wife, and I was late to work. And I just felt horrible. And I felt like crap at home, like I was a bad father. Okay, that was Thursday. Now the next question I'm going to ask as a therapist is, okay, so how come Friday was better? How come the other days of the week were better? If Thursday was the worst day, how come the other days were a little bit better? And the client will probably stutter and stammer and ask, well, I don't know. And then you ask them, well, just take a minute and think about it. What was different? Well, I think, on such and such a day, I guess I went for a walk, or I called my kid up, or I took my medication earlier. We want the client to start to pay attention to what's going on when the symptoms are less intense or when they start to go away. There is always, periods of time where things are better. So we would move then to that pattern and talk more about change and possibility. Remember, whatever you focus on gets bigger, and we have to be very selective in our conversations with clients and what we give our attention to. So I hope you find this helpful. Comments and questions are welcome.